All right, welcome back. We're just over 2 weeks into Trump's second term. Perhaps the most striking development in these days has been his administration's determined effort to reshape the federal government with dramatic executive action. There's the attempt to freeze all federal spending, that order halted by a federal judge. There was the slashing of DEI programs across government, and of course, the attempted buyout of potentially millions of federal workers, what the Trump administration called a deferred resignation offer. Workers eligible for that program required to make a decision by Thursday. The email announcing that buyout obviously did not go over well with federal workers. Business Insider reported this, quote, federal employees are ping-ponging between outrage, despair, and confusion as Trump's payout offer hits inboxes. The anger is personal. One career State Department employee telling them, quote, they can F off and we won't be intimidated, end quote. President Trump has been assisted in this effort by Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency, which first targeted USAID. His attempts to dismantle that agency meeting strong opposition from Democrats on Capitol Hill.
I'm sorry that you have to put up with this offensive bullshit coming out of this White House.
This is a constitutional crisis that we are in.
That is how dictators are made.
We need you, America, to listen and to act. Because today, it's USAID. Tomorrow, it's our health care. It's Social Security. It's our livelihoods. It's our freedoms.
We don't have a fourth branch of government called Elon Musk.
The Wall Street Journal reporting this morning, that after dismantling USAID, the Trump administration plans to turn its attention to the Department of Education. Joining us now to discuss all this, Congressman Olszewski of Maryland. He's a Democrat. Congressman, thanks very much for being here.
Thanks for having us on.
You, of course, represent a significant number of people who work for the federal government. It affects this region very deeply. I want to start with this reporting that they may go after the Department of Education. Is that legal? What would it mean?
Yeah, I mean, 150,000 workers in Maryland, over 22,000 just in my congressional district. That's just civilian, not counting military. And so if this is personal, I mean, there's a story behind every family who's impacted. And so this is part of the playbook. This is about going after, today it's USAID, like I said, now it's the Department of Education. And no, these are not legal actions. I mean, you know, we have the power of the purse in Congress. USAID and other agencies are established by law. And it's clear that the president has to be more thoughtful about how he wants to do it. Look, you have the White House, you have both chambers of Congress. There's a way that if you want to go after waste or if you want to change the way our government is structured, you can do that. I welcome that debate. I think members of the Congress welcome that debate. But this is clearly not legal. It is clearly an affront to the hardworking men and women of this country. And it's something that I won't stand for. I know many of my colleagues won't either.
What are you hearing from constituents about their attitude toward continuing to do their jobs? Because it's one of the explicit strategies here, and the Washington Post kind of reports it this way, that the executive order, this draft to shut down education, acknowledges only Congress can actually shut it down, but it directs the agency to begin to diminish itself. Are federal workers that you speak to ready to do things like that?
You know, just yesterday at USAID, there were federal workers who were just so scared and upset and frustrated that their mission that really is helping preserve and protect American interests across the world was under attack. That's the same for our workers in the Department of Education. You know, the vast majority of the funding for the Department of Education is actually going directly to our states and local governments. As someone who oversaw a local school system as county executive before coming to Congress, this support is invaluable. And so I know that employees are ready to stand up. They're ready to fight. I think what you read today speaks to the frustration and the emotions that our employees are going through. But again, these are not legal actions the president's taking. I think employees are not going to take kindly to being told to dismantle their own work. These are people who've given their lives to the American people and to the American government. And it's deeply concerning.
Let me talk to you a little bit about how Democrats are responding to all of this. We got a new chairman at the Democratic National Committee, but the reality is that it can be hard to see how Democrats are standing in the way of what Donald Trump is doing. In many ways, it's a steamroller, him plus Elon Musk. What does your party need to do differently now?
More. We need to have urgency about what we're facing. We need to have an all-hands-on-deck strategy. We need to pull every single lever that's available to us. I was encouraged to see senators saying they're going to use all their tools. They have more than members of us in the minority party. But as I was saying yesterday, this is also incumbent upon the American public, especially those who are represented by Republicans in congressional districts and U.S. Senate districts, to reach out and say, this affects not just me, this affects a family member, this affects a friend, and I'm concerned about the actions you're taking. Until, ultimately, until we have Republicans joining us in the fight, we're going to have limited levers, but certainly things like reconciliation. So the buyouts, the government's not even funded past March. So I don't know how the president can promise to pay folks for not showing up to work. But, I think there will be places where Democrats can have more impact and more leverage in these conversations. We should and will use every tool at our disposal. We're going to support legislative efforts. We're going to support court and judicial efforts. We're certainly going to be in the court of public opinion, but we need to make sure that both the American public is aware of what's going on, because this is just the beginning. USAID, Department of Ed, Social Security, healthcare, your freedoms, your liberties could be next. And I think those are really real threats that are out there that we need to take seriously.
The Elon Musk piece of it, how do you see Musk's interaction with President Trump? And I mean, I heard Jamie Raskin there say, we don't have this fourth department of government that is this billionaire. What is the plan from the Democratic perspective to try and impact that? Because clearly he is moving so quickly that it seems all but impossible to stop it.
Well, he's moving quickly with the full support of President Trump and, to date, members of the United States Congress. And so, our moves have to be calling it out for what it is. This is someone who's had no vetting. There's no transparency about the work that he's engaging in, or those who are helping him and assisting him. And now they have access to some of the most classified personal information that Americans can have, our Social Security numbers, our financial information, our healthcare data. It's deeply concerning. And so we need to not only call for it and push for that transparency, but be at the table. I'll just add, it's interesting that, between the workforce and the tariffs and all this other stuff, cost of living was always front and center for this president. And it was a key issue in this election. We're now 32 days into Congress. There hasn't been one bill brought to the floor to lower costs for Americans. Instead, we're seeing tariffs that are proposing to drive up costs 25%, $1,250 for the average family. And I just think that we're losing sight of what Americans told us they wanted us to go to Washington and work on.
All right, Congressman Johnny Olszewski, thanks very much for being here this morning.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. Come back soon. All right, 53 minutes past.